Good morning, mighty congregants. Super my pleasure to read this reading for Eishin Fred Miller. The title is Metta Prayer for Peace, and it is written by Kushin Sisho Meili Scott Roshi. May I be well, loving, and peaceful. May all beings be well, loving, and peaceful. May I be at ease in my body, feeling the ground beneath my seat and feet, letting my back be long and straight, enjoying breath as it rises and falls and rises. May I know and be intimate with body, mind, whatever its feeling or mood, calm or agitated, tired or energetic, irritated or friendly, breathing in and out, aware, moment by moment, of the risings and passings. May I be attentive and gentle towards my own discomfort and suffering. May I be attentive and grateful for my own joy and well-being. May I move towards others freely and with openness. May I move towards the suffering of others with peaceful and attentive confidence. May I continually cultivate the ground of peace for myself and others, and persist, mindful and dedicated to this work, independent of results. May I know that my peace and the world's peace are not separate, that our peace in the world is a result of our work for justice. May all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. Please help me welcome Soto Zen priest Eishin Fred Miller.
Good morning. Acceptance instead of resistance. I was invited to talk today on Foof's theme of the month, resistance. To begin with, I'd like to share a story. It's called Turning Loose of the 100-Foot Pole. The 100-foot pole is an analogy often used in the teachings by Shunryu Suzuki Roshi, the founder, the Zen master who founded the San Francisco Zen Center. His is the lineage that we were a part of here in our Florence meditation group. Imagine that this is a 100-foot pole. You're holding on because it is your only support, your security blanket, your comfort zone. You hold on to it with all your might because you have no idea what's at the bottom if you turn it loose. It could be great, but can it be better than what you have now or what you think you have? Our human nature's first response is to hold on to the pole, to stay with the perceptions of what we think we have, To resist a change is a first reaction to our circumstances or to something or someone different. That was me when I made the decision to go to Ashland Zen Center last year for additional training. I'd done all the due diligence I thought was necessary, but in the end, I had no idea what I was getting into. I had deep apprehension about my ability to measure up. That's been a primal fear of mine all my life. My first Zoom interview with the teachers there, Ramana and Stacy Raymeyer, and a brief visit to Ashland Zen Center gave me enough encouragement to loosen my grip a little on the 100-foot pole and make a commitment to spend time there. Still clutching the pole, I went, very unsure as to how I was going to fit in. Just plain afraid of failing at something I wanted profoundly and thought that I really needed. When I went to the Zen Center, it was for a deeper immersion into our sexed forms, rituals, and the workings of a community of Zen practitioners. Hopefully, also to gain more insight into my own nature and discovery of myself. I took a lot of baggage. Socks, underwear, and vast quantities of perceptions about who I was and an ego that was in much need of protection and care. I was terrified of screwing up. I could not allow myself to be seen as incompetent or ill-informed. I was so intent on not appearing on top of it that I was missing what I had gone there for in the first place. In the beginning, I resisted trying new things, seeing them as traps to catch me in a mistake. I could not turn loose of the pole. When we started working on our practice positions, various duties in a zendo and in a monastery, I was really resistant. In a Soto Zen temple, the people who perform various functions during services all have titles related to their role. These are normally in Japanese. To me, these practice positions were traps to catch me in a mistake, not opportunities for service and learning. My first learning assignment was the position of fukado, the person who keeps time on the mogukyo during chanting. The mogukyo is a traditional drum carved in wood, shaped like a fish. Here's a small example. If you've ever listened to a ninja movie, that's the sound you hear. To me, the Mogukyo at AZC was 16 inches across, about the size of a medium exercise ball. For me, it was not a fish drum. It was a great white shark. I laid awake at night, dreading having to face it at morning services. I could not think of that practice position, or any other one for that matter, for what they were, offerings of love and service. I knew what they were supposed to be, but protecting my ego, the self I imagined, blinded me to the reality of what they were. I resisted stepping forward and trying, morbidly fearing of the judgment of others. Little by little, with great kindness, a healthy amount of prodding, encouragement, help, teaching from the teachers, Romana and Stacy, also known as Kogetsu and Tendo. Everybody's got a Japanese name too. Together with the rest of the members of the Sangha of Ashland Zen Center, I took more and more steps, one at a time, learning and growing, more confident in what I was doing every day. From one practice position to another. Every step required letting go of the pole, letting my grip slip just a little, cultivating seeds of acceptance that lay dormant within me. Eihai Dogen Senji, a great 13th century teacher who brought Soto Zen to Japan from China, said, "To study the Buddha's way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self." Anyone who has spent any time in a Zendo has heard it 100, 1,000, several thousand times. But I really didn't get it. I thought I had, but I hadn't. Throughout many years of practice, listening to gifted teachers, studying sutras, reading, following the path to ordination, I really never figured out who I was. With the experiences at the Zen Center and since, turning loose and taking the first step and not resisting all those steps that followed, I'm more at home in my own body and mind, much closer to asking the question, who am I? As I said when I first I was approached to talk today, I was told the theme of the month at FUF was resistance. It's a hard subject to talk about because it's a hard thing to recognize in ourselves. It can be very subtle. It's hardwired into us as a survival tool. Practically, it often keeps us out of trouble and saves us from many kinds of injury. Yet resistance is also a source of much of our unhappiness and dissatisfaction. On the gross side, it is a seedbed for hate, anger, and prejudice. On a different plane, a source of anxiety, dissatisfaction, and loss. Resistance, like all things, is one side of a two-sided coin. The other side is acceptance. Unlike resistance, acceptance is not hardwired. It is a learned response. It's not designed to guard this self this I, this me, this mine, this us, this our body, persona, and possessions that we perceive to be who we are and our reason for being here. It's a tool we use to protect this self. Resistance, what we often refer to as aversion in our practice, grows from seeds planted in the soil of this perceived self. Seeds planted by cultural and sociological convention, our friends, family, and colleagues. Resistance closes doors and denies access to a larger experience of life. Acceptance, on the other hand, opens doors, expands our view, and offers a larger existence. It's where the seeds of kindness, compassion, generosity are nurtured, sprout, and mature. By looking at all things and accepting them just exactly as they are without prejudice or fear of the unfamiliar or the different, taking a step forward out of our comfort zone allows one to savor a fresh experience. This includes letting go of our preconceived notions of how things are, how they're going to be. If we step into the river of life and let the current take us where it will, the need for resistance diminishes. If we give up the struggle to protect ourselves, we can accept everything and be less resistant. This is taking a step into the path of a fuller, calmer, more compassionate life. And not just for yourself, but for everything and every being you touch. People, animals, trees, our Mother Earth, the entire universe, and beyond. I'd like to leave you with a little poem, and then I'll leave you. Receive and accept all things just as they are. Let all things go. Climb the path to awareness and enter the river's flow. Thank you very much. Every Zen monk